Our world is run by chips. Chips or microchips are everywhere. Everywhere you go, everything you see have chips inside, from your home appliances or outside your home and to the NASA space station. The more chips your computer has, the more powerful it becomes. Microchips are also used in the military. The better chips they have, the more powerful they will be. Any country that produces more chips will control the global tech industry. Control over chip manufacturing means control over innovation, security, and economic strength. This tiny island in East Asia produces 92% of the most advanced chips in the world, and the whole world relies on it, especially powerful nations. They need it to stay ahead. But this dependency has also made Taiwan a focal point in global tensions. Taiwan powers the world and now are covered by the major powers who understand that whoever controls the chips controls the future. In the 21st century, silicon is more valuable than oil. After World War II, the era of modern computing began to take shape. The computer at that time had dozens of wires, each sending specific signal. It was inefficient. Scientists noticed that it was reached a level of complexity and required reducing the number of their components, means get rid of all these wires. In 1947, a transistor was invented, a device that could amplify or switch electronic signals, on and off switch. But the next leap came in 1959 when two US engineers, Jack Kilby and Robert Noyce, invented the integrated circuit, which allowed multiple transistors to be placed on a single silicon chip. And this was the first semiconductor chip with 4 transistors on it. The engineers wanted to put more transistors on it. Each year they added more. Semiconductor chips first were used only in government projects, such as NASA missions and military systems. The companies that first made chips were all based in the US. They designed the chips, manufactured, and assembled them. Every year, US companies put more and more transistors onto the silicon, following Gordon-Moore's law, which says the number of transistors in an integrated circuit doubles about every 2 years. Gordon-Moore and the man who invented the first integrated circuit, Robert Noyce, founded Intel Company in 1968, and they led the way. In 1971, Intel introduced the first commercial microprocessor, the Intel 4004, which had 2,300 transistors on it, marking the beginning of the personal computing era. And now, chips are designed for public use devices. More companies are now showing up. Most of them were happening in Central California, in a valley. By the mid-1980s, the number of transistors was nearly 300,000 on a single piece of silicon, and it kept going ridiculously high every year. And the home computing, television, satellites, and many more become better. The government wanted to make more money from it by producing a large number of chips. As the number of transistors keep going up, microchips become really complicated and more expensive to make. So the US government, trying to find a way to make it happen, plan is to only design the chips, manufacturing and assembling it in another country. On the other side of the ocean in East Asia, Japanese tech companies began producing cheaper and high-quality chips, exporting them at lower prices than American companies. By the mid-1980s, Japanese firms controlled the global market of chip industry, and the US did not like this become their competition and displacing American firms. In 1987, the US imposed 100% tariffs to block the import of Japanese chips. In the same year, not so far from Japan, another country wanted to get on the chip industry. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or T.S.M.C, was founded. Their plan was only manufacturing the chip designed by others. They clearly wanted to join with the US and not to compete with them, and it all goes to this man, Morris Chang, founder of the company. Born in China in 1931, when he was 18, moved to the United States to attend Harvard University. After received master's degrees, he worked at Sylvania Semiconductor about 4 years and at Texas Instruments about 25 years. Morris became an expert in semiconductor technology. In the 1980s, Taiwan invited Morris to help develop its semiconductor industry. It was a unique opportunity for him and founded T.S.M.C at the age of 56. So now a man who is expert in chip industry, building a company that only manufacturing the chips, not designing, not assembling and selling it at a lower price. The US realized, instead of doing all this expansive job spending billions to make chips, why not let the Taiwan do it? It solve all the American problems. The semiconductor companies now can only do the design, the software, and Taiwan is building it. Next to Taiwan, we have another country with a population of more than 1 billion people joined the World Trade Organization in 2001 and changed the game. China became the world's manufacturing powerhouse. With cheap labor and massive workforce, they became a huge consumer of chips, importing them from Taiwan, assembling products, and sending them back to America. So most of the American people, or from other side of the world, can get this.
We are calling it iPhone. Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone.
Taiwan got so good at manufacturing chips that all companies in the US stopped doing it. Now in these days, there is no company in the US manufacturing the chips. Taiwan is manufacturing 92% of the most advanced chips in the world, and China is the second country after the US importing chip from Taiwan. China's spending more money buying the chips than it spends buying oil, and they became really rich and strong, not only in factories but also in the military.
The Financial Times, citing unnamed sources briefed on the intelligence, reports China tested a nuclear-capable hypersonic missile in August. The report says the missile circled the Earth before speeding toward its target, demonstrating an advanced capability in space that, quote, caught U.S. intelligence by surprise.
And when the US saw this, it brought their attention that China is getting ahead in the military. This is a Chinese hypersonic missile system, going 5 to 10 times the speed of sound. It travels at very high speed, but at a lower altitude, staying under radar range. The US government realized that China was using their chip technology to get ahead of them, because the design and the software is happening in the US, manufacturing in their allied country Taiwan, and China is the giant consumer of chip importing. So the US have to take action. The government has blocked several American chip companies from selling advanced semiconductor technology and equipment to China, blocking the applied materials. The machines used to manufacture chips machines, like A.S.M.L. Netherlands is the only country making this, but the machine requires equipment that's only made in the US, blocking Taiwan to sell the most advanced chips to China. So the US have full control in chip industry, and also banned US companies from doing business with China's biggest tech company, Huawei. And the government give billions of dollars to American chip makers to build the manufacture back in the America. Companies like Intel, and also from Taiwan. T.S.M.C, now building its first mega factory in Arizona. This move is part of an effort to slow China's technological rise and protect US national security. China also took an action to not rely on American technology, and their rival neighbor Taiwan. They built their own Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corporation, S.M.I.C, and spending billions of dollars in the microprocessor sector, but it is not easy to catch up, because other countries, like Taiwan, Netherlands, and America, the head of chip makers, spent decades to get there. The latest chip for NVIDIA that is designed primarily for AI is called Blackwell B200 GPU, which have 208 billion transistors on it, and the scale of each transistor is 4 nanometers thick. Remember, the first one had only 4, but still, TSMC and Samsung planning to start production, the chips that have transistors with 2 nanometers wide, that's the scale of DNA. To put perspective, something you can see a human hair is about 100,000 nanometers. Manufacturing chips at such a small scale is extremely difficult and expensive. Currently, only 2 companies produce chips below 10 nanometers, with TSMC leading the industry. In 2020, Chinese firms were still struggling to get below 40 nanometers. Today, China's largest chipmaker company announced that they have successfully made a 7 nanometers chip. But still, it's not enough. Both superpower nations, China and the US, are now relying on Taiwan, and both of them are spending billions of dollars for building a manufacture and making the most advanced chips and lead the world.